Mayor Fort, we've reached out
Okay.
to Councillor Sheneman just to see if he's having any issues.
Okay, I can let you work on that in the background and we'll get started. So if I can get a mover and a second, please, to open the meeting to order. Moved by Councillor Belinda Kistemaker, second by Councillor Drago Stefani. Be it resolved at the regular meeting that we do call this regular meeting of council to order on Wednesday, January 25th, 2023 at 6 p.m. And those in favor? Peter, are you there? That is carried nonetheless. Could we just reach out to a Councillor Kistemaker to ensure that he still is online?
Yeah, I'm online.
Okay, we were just putting the vote to open the meeting. You're in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and that is carried. Moving on to our Indigenous land acknowledgement, and I'll hand it over to Councillor Belinda Kistemaker, our Deputy Mayor.
The Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the land on which we gather here today is the Treaty 9, 1905 to 1906 territory, the traditional lands of Indigenous peoples. As we work towards reconciliation, may we all live with respect on this land and live in peace and friendship with all its diverse peoples.
Thank you, Councillor Kistemaker. Moving on, we have the review and no changes to the agenda, and there being none, we're looking for approval as presented. If I can get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor
I'll move it.
Kistemaker, second by Councillor Peter Kistemaker. I put you in for seconder, okay, Peter?
Yep, yes.
And I put that to a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
And that is carried. None opposed. Moving on to item number 5 is disclosure of pecuniary interest in general nature thereof and declaration of conflict of interest. I don't have any paperwork as of yet right now. At any time through the meeting, if such situations arise, you can do that, Council. And we're moving on to item number 6, deputations and presentations. We do have a presentation to Council tonight for the 2023 water and wastewater rates from our client service manager treasurer, Melissa Chenier. And I invite Miss Melissa to join our meeting with her camera on now. Hello, Melissa, and the floor is yours.
I was on mute. Am I sharing my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, you're sharing your screen. You're not in presentation mode. You're just so you know.
This new platform doesn't look the same anymore. The screen is in a little corner where it used to not be like that. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to go.
I had the same problem.
Me too.
I wonder if I can move it.
Just for the people in the background that are watching our meeting or will watch this in the future, the format of the go-to meetings has changed a bit, so we're getting used to it.
Pop out and use. Oh, okay, there we go. I think. Okay, so I'm here tonight to present the water and wastewater rates to council. So we'll get started. If I can move this over a little bit. There we go, maybe. Okay, I'll start off with the water expenses. So the 2023 operation and maintenance payments that we pay to Aqua annually has reduced in the amount of $895.30. And that's mostly due to it fluctuates between the salary, benefits, The chemicals, electricity, there's no change in the electricity. There's a reduction in the services, and then there's a reduction in the supply and equipment, and then there's an increase in the management fees slightly. So it pretty much balances out to only $895. The capital projects for Aqua, I'll go through those on the next screen, but there's an increase of 11,700. There's no change to the unscheduled capital. So that is the unscheduled water breaks that we schedule for each year. The long-term loan payments, the principal and interest, that's for the water treatment plant that we've got a loan for back in 2012, I believe it is. And then wages is an increase of 2% as per the QB agreement. So that's 10% of our frontline staff who process the payments and for the water and the wastewater. Advertising and public relations, there's no change. And telephone and alarm system, there's an increase of only $100. And that's based on the actuals of 2022. It was closer to 36,000 in 2022. So there's an increase of $100. So an overall increase of $11,050.26. So next slide. So these are the capital works that Aqua has asked for us to budget for this year. So $20,000 for the intake, clear wells, and tower inspection. $70,000 for the filter train. So this originally was scheduled to take place this year and then 2 years from now and then 2 years from now. But in 2022, they had to change around some of the numbers for the filter train membrane. So we ended up taking some of the things out of the capital budget with Aqua to put in the $70,000 for 2022. And then they feel like this is very crucial to the plant. So they want to do the $70,000 last year, this year, and then again next year. So they're asking us to budget for those for 3 years consecutively. And then there's $4,200 for the high lift pump station. This wasn't in the original cost estimate that they had provided. This just came about a few weeks ago, or actually a few days ago. The CAO and I had a meeting with Aqua, and they requested that we put this in because the high lift pumping station right now is out for repairs. So they're down one, and while it's out for repairs, they would like to have a spare on site so they can replace that so they'll have a spare and have it on site to flip it out when they have to send one out for repairs. So then the leak detection from the water distribution, 17,500, and then, the water main repairs, same as I put that in a separate line in the budget. So that's 80,000 for a total of 191,700 for water. So the wastewater expenses, there is an increase in the operation and maintenance of approximately $83,000. So I did reach back out to Aqua to ask them why there was such a hike from 22 to 23. And he said that it's mostly due to an increase in the cost of chemicals. And in addition, they're budgeting for a third full operator as it's needed in Hornepayne. And the reason that they want to budget for a third, that there could be an overage at the end of the year, but they would rather have the overage than being under. So if they aren't able to hire the third, then we will have that overage at the end of the year. He said if council does want to change it and reduce it to only budget for one, we can rework the numbers, but his recommendation is to stay with 3. The capital projects for wastewater, there is none this year. The long-term loan payments is for our portion of phase 2 of our wastewater plant upgrades. The second long-term loan payment for principal and interest is for the UV project. So the CAO and I and the public work manager have a meeting tomorrow with Aqua to discuss that. So we'll get further information. So Normally for long-term loan payments, there's one payment that's made in February and one payment that's made in August. So this only includes August payment and not a February payment. Wages, again, is 10% as per the QP agreement, or sorry, 2% increase as per the QP agreement. Advertising and telephone, they are stayed the same from 2022 to 2023. And environmental monitoring, this is something that is done by Pinchin, and their price increased for 2023, $325. So the total overall increase is $43,943.15. So as I mentioned, there's no scheduled wastewater capital projects for 2023. So here's the summary of everything that I highlighted. So the total expenses for 2023 for water and wastewater is $1,222,614.52. And these expenses do not include transfer to reserves. So that's something that council can take into consideration when they're setting the budget. So as most of council is aware, water and wastewater rates are calculated on a cost recovery basis, with the township collecting enough revenue to meet operating and capital costs associated with both systems. So I just wanted to highlight to council, as a result of amending the water and sewer rates in December, as a result of the recommendation from, excuse me, Watson and Associates, there is an increase of 2.07% that has to be taken into consideration prior to any adjustments being made to the 2023 budget. And this is because council made the decision to take that shortfall out of reserve to cover the increase rather than increasing the water bills at year end. So these are the three options that I have on the table for council's consideration. So I will go through them each individually. That's just a summary of all three of the options that I have on the table this evening. So the first option is all of the same expenses that I've previously mentioned. The only difference is that this one includes a transfer to the water reserve for $42,685.17 and a transfer to the wastewater reserve for $31,438.47. So the impact of adopting that, the annual rate would be $1,958.79, which is an increase to the water and sewer bills of 10.15%. And that equates to $180.42 to the residential rate. And then there would be $74,123.64 to transfer to reserve. So that's a combination of two things. It's $61,897.83 that would be generated from the revenues collected from the township-owned facilities, and then $12,225.81 as per council's policy to increase a 1% to be allocated directly into reserve. So the second option includes all of the previous expenses that I mentioned, and the transfer to reserve would be, to the water reserve is $7,428.01, and then transfer to the wastewater reserve would be $4,797.18. So the impact of adopting option number 2, the annual combined rate would be $1,864.13, which is an overall increase of 4.83% to the water and sewer rates, which is an annual increase of $85.83 to the residential water and wastewater rate. And this transfer reserve only includes the 1% increase to be allocated to reserve as per council policy, and does not include allocating the transfer to reserves that is generated from the township-owned properties. So the third option includes only the expenses for water and wastewater that I previously mentioned in the first few slides, and does not include any money to be transferred to reserve. So the impact of adopting this option is the annual combined rate, $1,845.47, an overall increase of 3.78% to the water and wastewater rates. And then that equates to an annual increase of $67.16, and there would be 0 transfers to reserves. So I just wanted to provide this information to council, because I know that it might be top of mind that there would be no money being transferred to reserves should you go with option 3, or minimal transfer to reserves if you went with option 2. So I just wanted to highlight that even though there wouldn't be any direct transfer to reserves from the user rates, we do have some money that is being left over or carried from funding that we have been receiving. So we do have an additional $345,032 that would be carried over from the OSIF funding, and $69,583.96 from NORDS funding. And both of the NORDS funding has been allocated to, well, council has directed to set that money aside to do the 3rd Avenue water project, and the OSIF formula component, there's been discussions to put that money towards that project as well, but nothing's been directed by council. And this is my final slide, that we will be accepting written inquiries from Thursday, January 26th till Wednesday, February 1st. And then council will be doing deliberations on the water and sewer rates on February 7th, with the intention to adopt the water and sewer rates on February 25th. And then the last slides that I provided with the deck is just how I came to the calculations of each option 1, 2, and 3. So they're there for you to view. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Very well done. Very clear and good report.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to open the floor for just have any.
Oh.
Good, Melissa?
I'm just sorry, the CAO clerk just told me that it's February 22nd, not February 25th. Sorry, my mistake.
Okay. Okay, so first question is, did Councillor Sheneman join us?
Hi, Mayor Ford. Yes, he looks like he's online right now.
Oh, okay,
He's
great.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right. I just, good evening, Councillor. Good of you to join us, Ted. Glad you're here. So we were just finishing up They were just finishing up the presentation from Melissa that she presented, which was very well done. And I want to open up the floor to council right now if they have any clarifications or questions at this time, and that we'll do full deliberations at our next meeting. I'm not seeing any questions at this time. I do have one, Melissa, on the wastewater operation and maintenance, that the increase of an additional employee. Where did this increase come out? I know this is at Aqua's end. Had we not budgeted for that in the past?
We have, but because there was quite an increase this year on the chemicals that they were using, he provided me a very rough draft of the Q4 final report, and it's nowhere near being done, he mentioned to me, and we're looking like we're having a shortfall of approximately 25 to 26,000 for this year. So even though it was budgeted for last year, we're still seeing an increase that's being offset by the increases in all the rest of the services.
Okay, okay. So it's not an actual addition of another employee then completely?
Well, it's like the increase is they're increasing everything substantially. So they have the increase as per their negotiations or whatnot, but then everything is increasing as well. Do you know what I mean? Because
I'm not following.
So we're seeing a shortfall from the chemicals and whatnot. So there was the money there that they could take from the salary and benefits to offset the other expenses. So the money was there this year, but there was increases in other areas. So the overall,
Okay.
we're still short the overall picture.
Okay, so I'm going to try and repeat that so I understand it clearly in my mind. So
Okay.
in 2022, the increases to the chemicals have been offset by some of the operations costs through wages, which hasn't been fully recovered. There's about maybe around 25,000 that are still going to be owing. So in this year, in 2023, we're looking at also including more money for the chemicals and then also more money for the increase that you're going to see because of wage commitments.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, during the presentation, it occurred, my mind went that we were hiring another like full individual, but that's not the case.
Well, I believe I can get for sure clarification from Aqua, but I believe that there was a budget for a third person, but that didn't go through for the whole year. That's my understanding, but I will get clarification from Aqua so I can give you a proper answer.
Okay, great. And just a follow-up question to that third person is, has Aqua done any work on how they are going to retain their employees within communities? We've benefited from having 2 employees stay with us for a bit of a longer term. Have they talked about that? I'm concerned, and I bring this up for council's consideration and thought, because in the past we've trained people within Hornepayne, we put this extra money into them, and then what ends up happening is they go to a different community or someplace else. So. Okay, and I do see other questions. Go ahead, Melissa.
I just want to say that the only information that I have on that front is he told me it has been very tough to find somebody thus far. So I don't know if maybe Eileen would be able to answer that, but I know they're having a tough time finding people to fill the position.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Melissa. I'm going to go to Drago and then Eileen. Go ahead, Councillor Stefanik.
Yeah, through the mayor, I have the same take, but I'll do a different take. In 2021, 2022, 2019, how many staff members did they have at the water agency? So I'll be really clear on this, because I'm not aware of this third person. My understanding was there was 2 full-time members, and then they would bring in a third person, which would be charged to our budget from another municipality. That was my very clear understanding. I did not at any one time realize there were 3 staff members fully on staff. So I'd like to have that very clarified. And if they're looking for a third person, in my view, I want the justification for the third staff member. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Stefanik. Melissa, do you have any answers to that right now, or do you want to leave that to the deliberations?
Yeah, I don't know the answers to that, and I will follow up with Aqua. So
Okay.
From all the way back to 2019?
Yes,
Okay.
that'll give us a good spectrum of what's been going on. Go ahead, Eileen. You're on mute. I'm sorry, Eileen.
The theme of the night. Sorry about that. I was just going to say, Mayor Ford, that in regards to Councillor Stefanik's question, I don't have an answer either. So like Melissa said, we can look into that. But I do recall Aqua saying that same thing as Melissa said, that they've had a really hard time trying to not only hire, but then retain staff. They've actually hired, invested time, training, and months later they leave for a higher paying opportunity. So they're struggling, which is, quite common nowadays, unfortunately, for a lot of organizations. So they're facing the same challenges that pretty much everyone seems to be, at least across Canada. But we can look into it and see what Aqua is trying to do to, I guess, recruit and retain, right? So we'll look into that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. Any other questions from council, clarifications, anything that you need at this time? Okay, I'm not seeing any further questions. That I have that I would like to know is, when is our Aqua agreement open for negotiation again? That might be an opportunity for us to meet and talk about the issues we're all having with recruitment.
Sorry, Mayor Ford, do you mind repeating the question?
Our Aqua agreement, when it's up for negotiation.
Ooh.
So our Aqua agreement of opportunity, we can negotiate with them or even get out of the agreement. So we don't need to know that tonight. We can get that for our deliberations.
Yes, we will get that information for council.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to put one last call out for council. You've gotten quite an extensive presentation here. That was well done. I think if you have any clarifications, and then we will have full deliberation set out in the time.
I'm good.
Okay, I'm not seeing any. Thank you, Peter. I'm not seeing any further questions. So I would like to, I would like to clarify with the treasurer, the inquiries coming from January 26th to February 1st, that's also the community, right? That's the community that can put those inquiries in, correct?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Okay, great. So just a shout out to all the residents and people in Hornepayne that you can inquire and put in comments in written form to the Client Service Manager Treasurer, Melissa Chenier, and that's treasurer@hornepayne.ca. And you have until Wednesday, February 1st at 4 p.m. And I want to say to Hornepayne residents, we do take consultation seriously. This is an opportunity that in the past hasn't been there, and we would like to hear your comments. So final call for questions from council. There being none, I'm going to move on then. And do you need any further information from us tonight, Melissa, to do your work?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for your presentation. Moving on to item number 7, we have managers' reports. If I can get a mover and a seconder so that we can open the reports on the table. Moved by Councillor.
We'll move it.
Belinda Kistemaker. Councillor, are you okay to second Councillor Peter Kistemaker?
Yes, I am.
And that's seconded by Councillor Peter Kistemaker. Be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne does hereby acknowledge receipt of the manager's reports provided at the regular meeting of council held on Wednesday, January 24th, 2023. And the first report is the AO Clerk report. And I welcome Eileen if you have any further questions or further comments to your report or information.
I do. I just wanted to, there's a few things that I wanted to add to my report. So I just wanted to advise council and the public that the township office is closed on February 3rd for a staff meeting. And staff has also added a family skate time slot to its winter arena activities, which are on Sundays. It started Sunday, January 22nd. It runs from 3 to 5 p.m. and it'll run till Sunday, March 26th. And also, I wanted to ask, I forgot to add this onto my report, if council would like to organize or do an event, for Winterfest. I understand in the past that there has been participation in an obstacle course, I understand, and also a pancake breakfast.
I am going to just turn my camera off. I'm getting a bad connection here, and I missed that last part. Were you asking us if we wanted to put an event into the Winterfest?
Yes, if you would like to organize or do an event for Winterfest. And in the past, I've been told that there has been something like a pancake breakfast or an obstacle, or participating in an obstacle course. I understand from what I recall.
Okay, I'm getting some freezing, some static at my end. Can everyone hear me?
Mayor Fort, you're cutting out
Councillor Stefanik?
Yeah, I'm frozen. So I'm in the frozen ponds. Is it appropriate for Winterfest, I suppose. I like we had the pancake breakfast. I think was very successful. And I think I'd like to see that happen again. I enjoyed it. Belinda was there, John was there, myself. It was very successful, and we some back to the community. I think I like to see that happen. I'm not sure how the rest of my colleagues feel, but I think that'd be a real good event. Thank you.
Any other further comments on Winterfest? I had the pancake breakfast as well. I'm willing to contribute. Okay, Belinda's saying yes. Okay, we definitely have 3 members of council, and we'll move.
I can't hear you at all anymore, Madam Mayor.
I think we've lost you, Madam Mayor, completely now.
Yes, it looks like we have. I'm going to reach out to Mayor Fort and just see if she is able to call in instead.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry about that. I got a disconnection, and I'm getting a poor connection. I'm going to try and transfer the meeting onto my phone. That might be a better connection. Can you hear me at all, Eileen, right now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
You're no longer in video, but we can still hear you.
You can hear me right now? Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to see if my phone might be better because it. I'm trying to hook up on my phone. Can you see that? Okay, can you hear me well on here?
I can hear you good.
Okay, we're gonna go with the phone. I can't see anyone, so you will have to say aye when we do any voting. Can everyone else hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Yes,
Okay. And are you seeing me?
yes.
You're seeing me as well. Okay, great. I just want you to know that I cannot see you. Okay, I apologize for that delay. And so we're at the consensus that council will participate in Winterfest, a pancake breakfast.
Yes.
And we had set a budget previous to that. Can we stick to that budget in the past? Can we stick to the amounts of foods we bought in the past? Because I don't think we had that much left over. I think it went really well. If we still have that information.
Mayor Fort, yes, we can stick to the previous budget. And I was also wondering if council could advise a date and a time that they would like for the pancake breakfast. Winterfest starts on February 13th and runs till February 20th.
Okay, is there a specific, does council have a preference? I think on the Saturday. Does February the 18th work in the morning?
It does for me, Councillor, or Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Ted. Any other councillors, Drago and Belinda, and Peter, the 18th? It's a Saturday?
Yeah, that would work.
It would
Okay.
have to be on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's the only Saturday we have available. Okay,
Yeah,
councillor.
that'd be good, Mayor, for as long as we don't conflict with anybody else's activities.
Yeah,
Last time worked out really well. I don't want to be doing if there's a hockey tournament going on. I don't want to be doing any other activity. It'll be solely for that. So if we're first in, I would not allow any other activities happening, whatever time is chosen. Thank you.
If I could just add that, council, that there is a bonspiel, I believe, that day. I'm not familiar with what time it starts, so I'm not sure if that conflicts with this potential pancake breakfast. And if you could please also advise of a time, that would be great.
Okay, a couple questions there. So for the bonspiel, that's the curling bonspiel. Are they removing the weight room equipment for the day?
Yes.
Okay, so there'll be tables up.
Well, sorry.
So I'm thinking in the past we held the pancake breakfast at the Legion, but maybe we could hold it at and use the canteen and have it up there. I'm not sure what council's thinks of that.
I like the Legion personally because everything's set up, easy access. All the equipment is there. It worked really well we worked as a team quite well. There was a lot of room to maneuver. It's much bigger than the canteen itself. I like to stay status quo at the Legion. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I do believe the bond spill usually starts in the afternoon later. I think the bond spill was on that day as well when we did the last breakfast. So do we want to start, do we have the times from the last time we held it? Because it ran really good and I don't want to reinvent the wheel here.
I don't have that information on me, but we can definitely look it up and do the same.
Okay, let's do that. And at the Legion, I concur with Councillor Stefanik. We worked really well, and when we have 4 or 5 of us in there cooking and serving it, he's right. The kitchen at the Legion's much, much better. Okay, do you need any more information on that for the council pancake breakfast?
No, we do not. I think we're good. Thank you, Mayor Ford.
Okay, thank you. I do have a question on the just the update to the staff report. You said February 3rd the office will be closed for a staff meeting?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I'm wondering why that needs to occur. Is it training?
Yes, it is. Well, it's training and it's part of training. It's a bit of development as well. So yeah.
Okay, so training and development. Okay, I just, on the signage, could we make sure to be clear of what it is? If we were to put a signage saying that we were closing the township office for a staff meeting, that's just not going to go over well. So let's be transparent and accountable and just say, like, if it's training, development, that sort of thing.
Mayor Ford, I just wanted to mention that there is a sign out and we've mentioned the reason that the office will be closed.
Okay, so it's mentioned on there already?
Yes.
Okay, and what does it actually state?
Sorry, I don't know the exact wording, but I believe it's mentioned that there's a staff meeting.
Okay, so just in the future, I think we need to have a discussion about how many allowable days we're gonna close the office for in a year and ensure that we're being prudent on that. And that we are telling the public exactly what it is.
Yeah, we can do that. It's also delegated, it's a delegated authority bylaw, so it's also mentioned in there. But we can,
What do you mean it's a delegated bylaw? Like what's mentioned in the delegation bylaw?
if it's okay with council, I'm just going to get Melissa to speak to this, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's in the delegated bylaw that the CAO clerk is authorized to decide when the office is going to be closed.
Right, but does it say how many days in a year that it's going to be closed?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, is we need to clarify that so that we know and this was a brand new bylaw that we created. So just to ensure that we set parameters at council. It was a brand new bylaw. This is just probably something we're going to run into. That's all. Thank you for that, Melissa. Okay, any other further comments or questions on Eileen's report? And you'll have to use the hand feature or call your name out. And Drago, go ahead. Councillor Stanek?
Yeah, thank you. Good report, Eileen. The only thing I'd like to see a follow-up on the next meeting after. It's heartening to see that the grant application for the ball field has been turned down. So I'd like to see some concrete plans, since that's not going to be part of the plan, to see within next month or so, because spring will be around the corner, to see what plan of attack will be for the ball field, and minus $186,000. I think we have to honor that this year. Last year we delayed it, and I think this is the year to go forth on the project. Thank you.
Thank you for that. There we go. I can see more people now. I can't see Drago, but I can see everyone. Okay. Any further comments on Eileen's report? So just a follow up on Drago's comment. My comment was, as we set the budget and we have further funding, if further funding comes available for our ball field, would it be reasonable to reapply?
Sorry, just to get clarification from you, Mayor, for it reapply to the same grant?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I believe we could. And it's only a yearly, I think, application. So the next time we would have to apply at the same time this year, sorry, is what I meant to say.
Okay. Okay, if there's no further questions from council, we'll move on. Or Councillor Belinda Kistemaker, did you have a question? I see you're unmuted.
Oh, no, sorry.
No? Oh, no, that's all right. I just don't want to pass anybody by. So for the township, my question, Eileen, is for the township's energy and conservation and demand management plan that's up for renewal. Is there going to be an added cost to Aqua to do this for us, or is this something within their management plan?
So it would be an added cost.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, if there's no further questions, we'll move on. Thank you, Eileen, for your report and update. To the Client Service Manager Treasurer. And Melissa, do you have any additions to your report before I open up the floor to questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to advise council that since the implementation of the iCity Online, staff has since set up a computer at the front of the office by the lobby area. So if people are having problems accessing the iCity Online, our front office staff is helping people go through the process on the spare computer up there. out there, and the CAO clerk and I have set a meeting with the CTA, and we will be meeting with them on Friday afternoon to discuss the issue and the next steps.
Okay. So with the issue that's happening, people can still sign up and everything though, or?
Yeah, it's just being used for like tutorial, so they can still access it from home and stuff. Just if they're having problems, we have the equipment to help them show them how to do it hands-on.
Okay. Okay, great. And have we had much uptake of the program?
I don't really know, actually. I think that we would probably have to log in and see the hits that we're getting on there, but I'm sure we could access that information, so I can bring that back to council for next meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Okay, council, any questions for our client service manager treasurer and her report? Go ahead, Councillor Stefanik.
Thank you, Mayor Ford. A good report. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stefanik. I do have a question about the AMP It Up 3.0. In the report, it says it only allows for 30 hours in total, and it talks about developing an improvement plan. That part confused me. Like, do we need more hours, or is it covered with the 30 hours? Like, how will this actually come to fruition?
So the AMP It Up program is funded through MFOA. So they approached us as so this is the third one that we have sat in on and took part with. So we've got assigned a consultant who is PSD. And then we went through everything with our asset management plan. And the MFOA is the one that only allotted the 30 hours. So there's no cost to us. So everything that we want to accomplish during this project has to be done within those 30 hours. So that's why there was initially a suggestion for 10 items. So then to confine it to the 30 hours that we have allotted, we picked the ones that I highlighted.
Okay, I'm understanding what you're saying. Improvement, proactive placement. Okay, so although there's those 10 items, we're only going to do items 6 and 7, or 7 and 8?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
No, there's 3 of them that we're doing. 5. Oh, what? Improvement. Identify 5, 6, and 8.
5, 6, and 8. Okay. So is there any suggestion on how we get the rest of those 7 completed or those gaps filled?
We do have another meeting with them, and we could request some direction from them how we can get that done.
Okay, great. Council, any further questions for the client service manager treasurer? Okay, I'm not seeing any. I want to take a moment right now to applaud staff, because what this is a huge leap from where we were 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you know, and the background work that's been taken to get this accomplished, to actually have the iCity online and to streamline those processes. And hopefully we have a good uptake from our community. And it does enhance our township and bring us closer into the digital age here. So I do, and I know that it was a lot of work just with the upgrades of our website, the council meetings itself, and now with improving services for payment for our services that we provide. So I want to thank everyone in the background for that. And Hornepayne, use your services. Okay, so moving on. Thank you, Melissa. The Public Works Manager. Good evening, Dwayne. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Do you have any additional comments to your report before I open up for questions?
Yes, I have 2 updates. The curling plant, we're waiting on back-ordered parts. So Simcoe was actually in today, and we managed to find another jug of R22. We put it into the system, so it's still leaking but holding. The second is our sander is down. It's scheduled for repair Monday morning at 8 a.m.
Okay. On the sander note, do we have any additional way to put sand out?
Right now, we're sanding with the loader buckets.
With the loader buckets, is this an opportunity to reach out to one of the contractors and ensure we have enough people on board?
Possible, but we do okay with the buckets. They're very good at it. Our guys have done it many times in the past.
Yeah, okay. I'm just concerned with the different fluctuating weather that we had that really bad ice last year, and I would hate to see us in a situation like that.
There's always an option, and I do have contractors in town I'm sure would help out.
Okay, okay. And is the repair significant, or do we think it should be done in the day?
Should be done probably in the day. Basically, it's the drag chain. The front sprockets are ripped right out. So I ordered a whole new kit in. It's just got to be installed.
Okay, okay. And for the curling club, those orders on back, the pieces that are on order, back order, do they have any timeline when they'd be in?
No, not yet.
Okay.
They've had issues across their system. Basically, stuff's being back ordered, and they're trying their best to get everything.
Okay, and but the facility is holding up, and this was before we found the replacement, the additional Freon. Did they say, did they give any timelines? Will it hold us to the end of the year, or do we know that?
We don't know for sure. The leak is so far, it's not leaking as badly. We made some stuff to try to slow it down, and we made it till now, and we weren't empty yet. So we just added another container in to hold our own.
Okay. And we're following all the environmental regulations and all of that with Cisco?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, Council, I open up the floor for questions for the Public Works Manager. Go ahead, Councillor Stefanik.
Yeah, through Mayor, to Dwayne, where specifically the R22 Freon leak is, Dwayne?
It's in a valve just on the one end of the system. The valve can't be replaced. In order to do it, to get enough Freon to refill it. So new Freon's going to replace all that.
Okay, so long as it stays cold, the plant doesn't cycle as much, so you're not losing Freon. So if it starts cycling, gets warm, there'll be a problem, no question. That's a fact.
It's right at the sight glass, if you know where that is.
I know where it is, trust me.
Okay.
Number 2 question, I see your contract employee. It's nice to see. So basically, you'll be up to par of clearing streets and sanding in timely manner. Am I right saying that?
I'm sure hoping so. He's doing okay so far.
And the last question to that question is, do you keep a log when you have your staff do the major grading, cleaning of the snow, and also sanding, Dwayne, please?
Sort of. We have a GPS system on 99% of the machines that clear snow on that now, so it's all recorded when they're out and what streets they're on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Stefanik. Any further questions from council? I do have one question about the new contract employee. And I put this out there for thought of the budget, and we had talked about timelines of taking down the derelict buildings in our community, and that, you know, taking 2 or 3 down is going to take a while to get them all down. And I was wondering if there was any appetite for furthering a second contract so that our other workers would have time this summer to continue that good work.
Possibly it's going to be put in the budget, that's all.
Okay, okay. I have no further questions. I'm last call for questions for the Public Works Manager. Okay, thank you, Dwayne, for your update, and I look forward to hearing when that curling club plant is fixed completely.
Me included. Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
And our final report is the Economic Development Officer's report. Hello, Stacy. Long time no see.
Yes, I made it home. You did not.
Yeah, I didn't.
So
And
I
here
don't have.
Go
Sorry,
ahead. No, go ahead. Do you have any additions to your report?
I don't have additions to the stuff that I put in my report, but I just attended the Roma conference with Mayor Cheryl Fort, and it was very successful. Our delegation went well, and we made some really good contacts. So it was very successful, I think. But I'll take
Okay.
any questions that Mayor and Councillor have.
Okay, great. Any questions from council? Councillor Drago Stefanik, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Stacy, I'm just looking at the Canada Community Recovery Fund, approximately 60% completed. I was asked the same question. I see you 60%. Great work. When is your timeline to complete 100% of project? I see July 23rd, denied, but to February, extension February 23rd. So what's your plan of action on that, please?
So with that one, we were hoping for an extension. Of course, you Mayor and Council are aware that we can't build at the park in the winter, but it's a FedNor grant, so their year end is March 31st. So we couldn't get an extension past their year end for the money. So we are going to spend as much of the budget as we can before. And we can still continue to do the activities after the February end date, but FedNor won't contribute to those. So we're going to try to spend 100% of the funds before the end date, and then continue the activities in the spring.
Thank you very much.
Okay, a follow-up question to that. If we do need, like it says roofing materials are ordered and materials to finish interior, can we prepay the contractor for that work? If contracted work?
We can. Yes.
Okay. So are you thinking that we will be able to use all of the funds that were provided to us?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. That's what I like to hear. Okay. Okay. Any other further questions from council? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Thank you, Stacy, and have a good evening. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to acknowledge receipt of the manager's reports, and I will put that to a vote now. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, great. That's carried. None opposed. Moving on to correspondence action items. The first one is 8.1, the Ontario Good Road Association's delegations. And we had a discussion at our past meeting about putting a delegation in about the Connecting Links funds. And is council still in agreement with that? We do have, it's not listed on the motion, but Councillor Drago-Stefanik, go ahead.
100%, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'll get a mover and a seconder for the motion, and then we can discuss. Moved by Councillor Belinda Kistemaker, second by Councillor Ted Sheneman. Be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne does hereby direct the CAA Clerk to request a delegation with the Ministry of Transportation, MTO, at the 2023 Ontario Good Roads Association OGRA Conference. Do we want to include what the delegation is for, Council, within the motion? Go ahead. Councillor Stefanik, do you have a question? Or
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, agree with you. We should include what the delegation is all about, of course.
Okay. Eileen, go ahead. I see your hand.
I just wanted to advise council that in the past, they usually do not include what the delegation is, and it's been left blank, and it just goes towards the ministry. But I just wanted to let council know that information.
Okay, I'm not sure why we've done that in the past. Maybe because we haven't passed the resolutions as far out as this one is. So, be it resolved that the council, so the change would be hereby direct the CAO clerk to request a delegation with the Ministry of Transport, MTO, for a discussion on Connecting Links funding and possible changes at the 2023 Good Roads Conference. Sorry, that's the Ontario Good Roads Association Conference. Go ahead, Eileen. Oh, you're still on mute.
Sorry about that. I was just going to ask that perhaps we could defer this and then work on the resolution and bring it back to council, just so staff can properly create another resolution or an amended one.
Okay, well, if we defer the resolution, are we able to amend it after we bring it back?
That is a good question. Can I call on, sorry, we should be able to, sorry. I just got an answer from the deputy clerk. So she's saying that we should be able to, yes.
Okay, Councillor, are you okay with that? We'll defer and then we'll bring it back on the 7th with the correct wording on it.
I'm good with it.
Okay, great. Eileen, go ahead. You're on mute, Eileen.
I need to stop doing that. So sorry. I just wanted to add that it wouldn't be amended. It would just be deferred to do it properly, to do the resolution properly.
Okay. Okay. We'll defer. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that is great. And Eileen, do you need any further information for the motion?
Sorry, I do need a little bit more information. I was just going to ask council if we should include the mayor's delegation as well for the drive test, the mayor's group delegation.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for bringing that up.
And I believe that's all the information I needed.
Okay,
Thank
yes.
you.
Okay, and for the Connecting Links, it was about the infrastructure replacement. They don't replace infrastructure that's not already there. So we can just put connecting links if you want and leave it more broad, but
Yes, I believe we would just put connecting links.
okay. Okay, that sounds good. So we'll have connecting links and of course the drive test update. Okay, moving on to 8.2 is the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Board of Directors Ontario representative vacancies. I asked Eileen to put this on the agenda if there's anyone on our council that would like to put their name forward for this. Councillor Sheneman, go ahead.
Yes, I would be interested, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I'm just realizing now, Council, I didn't realize this before. We will have to look at this in our budgeting because it's saying that we're agreeing to cover the cost to attend meetings for FCM board members. I do apologize. I think we need to defer till our budget, and I apologize, Councillor Sheneman. In the past, we have not contributed on boards where our municipality has to pay, and if that is an FCM criteria, we definitely need to tell them to change it. Councillor Sheneman, go ahead.
That's fine, Madam Mayor. Appreciate that.
Eileen, go ahead.
I just wanted to confirm with council that it is a requirement. And we can't unfortunately defer it because the application is due on January 30th.
Okay. I would suggest at this time that we do not apply, and I do apologize, Councillor Sheneman. It's just that these costs could be significant, and it's unfair that a community the size of 1,000 people pay those costs. So do we need to even put the motion on the floor then at all? Because it's, we can just move on.
I can confirm that we don't need to put it on then.
Okay, can I suggest though that a motion be created that we forward to FCM that Hornepayne would have liked to have participated, but because of the financial commitment, we couldn't? And forward that to FCM's board at our next meeting?
So just to clarify, Mayor Ford, could we just write a letter then to them and just let them know the situation?
I would rather have it as a council resolution that all council agree, because you think about all the thousands of communities across the Canada that are in our situation that cannot participate. Okay, understood. So we can do a resolution then, and we'll put it on for February 7th. Yeah, and I can write a letter to go with that resolution when we talk about it then. Okay, so moving on to 8.3, Essentials of Municipal Fire Protection. I believe, Eileen, you wanted to know if people wanted to participate. Is this? Yes, so I actually have further information from what I sent, or from what is on the agenda. I received an email on Monday, and I forwarded that email to council and to the fire department. And that email has
much more detail and information. And if any of councilors should choose to participate in it, you can actually look to the email to register, or you can also let me know.
Okay, great. So council and all the fire department, you can reply to the email and talk with Eileen. Eileen, can we get that email put on our next agenda as information only so the public can see what was distributed?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. Okay, so moving on to item, and I would just like to say, I believe the fire protection course is on a date. I'm already away and I won't be able to attend. It was February the 9th, I believe, was the date, Eileen?
It is, sorry, I'm just, yes, February 9th. And I also wanted to add that the fire chief won't be able to attend as well, just because he will be out of country. And unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to attend either, just due to staff leaves at the time.
Okay. Do you know, a second question, will they be offering this training in other communities, surrounding community maybe, that we can connect with, Geraldton or someone?
Sorry, Mayor Fort, can you repeat that? It was cutting out.
If this opportunity to take this training will be provided in another municipality close to us?
This, I'm not sure if it's going to be offered again this year. I can ask Wawa as it's being offered in Wawa on the 9th, but I can inquire and find out if it's going to be offered again this year, and if so, if it's going to be in a municipality closer to Hornepayne.
Yeah, that's great, because we have taken training in Geraldton before, and they may be offering something similar. Councillor Stefanik, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'm interested. It just depends on my schedule. I think it's crucial that somebody we be there. I think with the fire upcoming necessary training, and I think should, and I could let you know and let the CA know within next week or less than a week. I just want to see my schedule at my teaching, but I think somebody should be there. Thank you.
I agree, Councillor Stefanik. I do think we need someone to take training, or a couple of people, and thank you for that. I hope you're able to take the training, and everyone else can reply to Eileen, and I will update us on her next manager's report of who took the training. Eileen, is your hand still up, or is it up the second time here?
Yes, sorry, and I just wanted to add that the deadline to register or confirm is February 3rd. So if I could get councils, if they can confirm before then or by then.
Okay, great. Thank you, Eileen. So you have until February 3rd to confirm with Eileen, and if you do it ahead of time, it'll be better. And we'll carry on. Item 9.1. If I can get a move seconder, please, to acknowledge receipt of the information. Moved by Councillor Belinda Kistemaker, second by Councillor
I second it. Thank you.
Drago Stefanik. Be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne does hereby acknowledge receipt of the correspondence package attached to the agenda of the regular meeting of council held on Wednesday, January 25th, 2023. I want to take note, council, that the 9.2 is our delegation package that we presented to the minister. Our delegation went very well, and his staff was very pleased to see us, and we reiterated the items that were done so far and said that we would be looking at giving a further update at AMO. And I had let him know that Councillor Peter Kistemaker and our new CAO, Eileen Singh, would be doing that delegation on our behalf. And he's looking forward to seeing you both. And that's all the comments I have from 9.2 or from the information only. Is there any comments? Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. I think that's an excellent report. I read it a couple times. Well done. Whoever staff authored it, I thank them and congratulate them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stefanik. Go ahead, Eileen.
I just wanted to give a shout out that the report was done by our deputy clerk, Jen, so I think she probably appreciates that.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Jen. Okay, now, if there's no further comments, we'll move on. And I'll put that motion for acknowledge the receipt to a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 And that is carried. 9.2, or sorry, 9.2, 10. Council committee update. So we'll go around the floor for council committee updates. Councillor Stefanik, go ahead.
Thank you. Just as per last council meeting, I have a meeting for Porcupine Health Unit Board of Health tomorrow. And at that time tomorrow, the board will be chosen. The chair and vice chair, also the powerful finance committee, be choosing their chair and vice chair as well. And we also have a first inaugural meeting for the library board on January 31st, so what makes it a Monday. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor. Mayor?
I think it said me, I don't have anything at this time.
Nothing to update. Councillor Ted Shenman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We had a meeting at the hospital committee, and we certainly, the prime of that is still the trying to retain and obtain and recruit staffing is still the biggest drawback right now, is trying to maintain and have a staff that will stay. And so it's a brainstorming of trying to how to get that retention to be able to be satisfactory and long-term rather than transient and relying on agency staff.
Okay, thank you. Any further updates?
Nothing else, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Peter Kistemaker?
I have nothing to add at this moment, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the update. And for myself, I do apologize, Council. At our last meeting, I had said that I would have a full written update on this agenda. I didn't manage my time well enough to get that in, and you will have it for our next meeting. And I will include some notes for the Roma conference. That I would like to say that I did take the ADSAP orientation training. We do have our first ADSAP meeting tomorrow, and I look forward to meeting the crew there. But that's the only and I do have a further update for the council that I was permitted to participate through my connections with the Ontario Good Roads with an MTO delegation, which went very well. So it was really good to see Minister Caroline Mulroney. And we also were permitted to sit in on the delegation for the Northeast Superior Mayors Group, talking about locum doctors and that within Dubreuilville and Wawa. And I applaud Mayor Melanie Pilon and Mayor Beverly Natel for the delegation that they did. It was extremely well done and successful. So hopefully they see some more resolve to their issues with their locum doctors there and the locum funding. But that's the only updates I have right now. So we'll move on to item 11. 11.1 is the strategic plan. I open up the floor to Eileen if you have any further comments or discussion items for your report.
I don't have anything further to add to my report, but I can take any questions from council, if any.
Okay, thank you. So council, I open up the floor for questions on the report, or the recommendation is to proceed with option 2 for the new and refreshed strategic plan. Councillor Stefanik, go ahead.
Yeah, through the mayor, I do concur with the suggestion by administration on item number 2. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor.
I also would agree with that. It's a little bit more money, but we need the public input.
Any further comments from council? I do have a couple of comments about what really well done report, Eileen. I like how you broke everything down and showed us the different options and brought us different options. I do agree with Councillor Peter Kistemaker that we do need public consultation. My concern is that with an online survey, I would like to see the public contribute through that. Originally, I was weighing towards option number 3. And after careful consideration and thinking about the magnitude of work we still have to do on the existing strategic plan that we set out, I am in favor of option 2, but I would like to ensure that the public understands that survey's out there, that we do the best we can to let them know that they can put their consultation in through that process. So I am in agreement with option 2 as well. If there's no more further discussion, I'll ask for a mover and a seconder on the motion. Moved by Councillor
Shanneman.
Ted Shanneman, second by Councillor Belinda Kistemaker. Whereas Council commissioned a comprehensive service delivery review completed in September 2019, as well as a strategic plan of council, which was completed in February of 2020. And whereas it is ideal to develop a new term of council strategic plan in the first quarter of the new council term, and whereas council has been provided with and hereby acknowledges receipt of staff report number CAO-SR 2023-2, which outlines the clerk's or CAO clerk's recommendation. Therefore, be it resolved that after consideration and discussion, the Council, the Corporation, the Township of Hornepayne does hereby authorize the Commission of Municipal Government Wayfinders Limited to refresh the existing strategic plan, including public consultation, for a fee of $12,000, excluding HST. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 And that is carried, none opposed. Eileen?
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to also advise council, and I think you already kind of mentioned this, but the final resolution will only include the chosen option, not all 4 of them.
Okay, great. Yes, I didn't read out the others at all, so. Okay, item number 11.3, the comprehensive user fee and service charge review. And I open up the floor to Client Service Manager Treasurer. Melissa, do you have any comments to your report?
No, I don't have anything to add, but I'll take questions if there is any.
Okay. So I open up the floor to questions. Councillor Stefanik, go ahead.
Thank you. Great report. I'm looking at the financial consideration that was stated in the report, and I agree 100%. CBO advised if you increase the fees massively, people will not get the building permits. No question. Number 2, Also, same advice for garbage tipping fees. If it's increased, massively, there'll be more garbage in the bush, as it was mentioned by previous meetings by Councilor Peter Kistemaker. So I agree with those recommendations.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Panic. And Melissa, were those reflected, any of those recommendations reflected in the final report? Was there adjustments made for those?
No, they were not. So what I was thinking that maybe if council isn't prepared to, at an upcoming council meeting, if council isn't prepared to pass a bylaw to adopt all of these fees, if maybe we should go through it all and hash it out to figure out which ones we want to enact in the bylaw and which ones we don't, and then review it again next year or something, but what we want to put into place at what level at this time, if council is agreeable to that, rather than just putting it all on the table as is.
Okay, yeah, I am in agreement with that. I was actually going to suggest something like that, because we do have to accept the report that we've received. That's part of our funding package for the intake 3. But we can further deliberate on different items, because we do have the other thing with the land transfer area is that contract is coming up for negotiation as well. So there's items that we might want to look at there, council, and have discussion about. So do we want to, okay, so first of all, let's finish with any further questions of the report. I do have a couple of questions on the fees at the end. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the portion. Okay, the first question I had was, in the report, it talked about public consultation before adjusting the fees to the bylaw. Is that included what we've already done, Melissa, or will we have to further have public consultation when we adopt the bylaw?
No, he talked about the public consultation that he's referring to is the presentation that he had at the last council meeting, and then with the 1 week period of written comments.
Okay.
So, but yes, you're correct. If council is not prepared to adopt these fees, it is our requirement to have public consultation on behalf of the municipality before fees are adopted.
Okay, so we will have to have a second, because we're going to hash it out a bit and only adopt certain ones. But if we adopt only things that are within the report and not adopt them all, will we have to have public consultation again?
I don't know. I would have to seek advice about that.
Okay. So just for public and council clarification, that we would have to, it looks like we would have to have a bylaw brought forward that would show the fee increases that we choose to have, and then we would have public consultation at that time, and the bylaw would come back to a second meeting for passing, correct? Okay.
Yes, that's my understanding of it, yes.
Okay, so my questions that I had were from page, where am I? I'm in the appendix on page 66. And the question is what is the difference between an ownership change and a new account? Because we're charging, this note. So a new property tax account is set up, that's $30. So that's if someone builds a house or buys property, or?
So a new ownership is, and then we had to create a new roll number for them. So we have to go into the system and create all that from scratch. Where if it's a change of ownership, then it's just changing what's already existing.
Okay, so a change of ownership is like someone sells their property. It goes from one to the other. Okay. And then that would just be included in the new legal fees when the lawyers reach out to us. Okay. A second question to that is, the ownership information change doesn't include like someone's name change though, right? Like if someone was to get married or divorced? Because I just don't think we're allowed to do that, my understanding?
No, it wouldn't. It would be just the change of ownership in the property.
Okay, okay. Okay, and I had another question here. For 68, page 68, where we're talking about the animals, this came up while I was reading it. Is there a possibility, or do other communities license this out, where if we apprehend a dog, we have basically someone in the community that's a babysitter sort of thing of the dog, or a kennel or something like, or can the dog be transferred to the Hearst kennel? That sort of
I've never heard of that. Maybe Dwayne would be able to speak to that, but I've never heard of that practice.
Okay, I'm wondering if in other communities, if that's how they handle it. I feel for the animal and I feel for the employees, is that the animal wouldn't be top-notch care in our care. Like there's not other animals there, or there's not someone there all the time. And then it would provide us a way that it's handled properly, both with staff and then with the animal care too. Okay, is there any further questions on the report? Councillor Stefanik, go ahead.
Thank you. Through Mayor to Melissa. As you did a great presentation for the water agency, which you gave us some idea where choices from the Treasury Department. I'd like to see same thing done for the building permit fees, to give us parameters from high to low, what your suggestions are as far as the Treasury Department is concerned, as well for the tipping fees. So we're not going to be running around in a circle all night deciding our numbers. So give us some highs and lows and what your recommendations are. It would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stefanik.
Yeah, I can do that for sure.
Okay, so the suggestion motion as read or as provided, I think we just have to take out the portion, be it further resolved, that it be enacted. If we change this is my proposition to the motion, is the last part, the be it further resolved, that a bylaw to enact fees and charges will be tabled at an upcoming council meeting, where we take the whole report off of that portion, if council's understanding and suggesting.
So basically, we're going to still go over a couple of fine things that we were talking about the last meeting there, like different fees that we didn't agree with.
Yes, that we're going to accept the report. Hemson's pretty much done their work. We're going to this finalized report, and now we're going to use this report to ensure that it fits for our community.
Oh, agreed.
Okay, so the last part of that suggestion motion that the staff provided for us just included that this report would enact the fees, so we don't want that included in there. Okay, so if I can get a mover and a seconder, and I'll read the fulsome motion. Moved by Councillor.
I move it.
Drago Stefanik.
I'll second it.
Peter Kistemaker. Whereas Hemson Consulting Limited was commissioned to undertake a comprehensive user fee and service charge review on behalf of the Township of Hornepayne, which was funded by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, MMAH, Municipal Modernization Fund Intake 3 review stream. And whereas Hemson Consulting Limited has completed the review process and has provided the Township of Hornepayne with the finalized report, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne does hereby accept the Township of Hornepayne's comprehensive user fee and service charge review report as prepared by Hemson Consulting Limited. Be it further resolved that a bylaw to enact fees and charges will be tabled at an upcoming council meeting. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 And that is carried, none opposed. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the terms of reference. After the agenda was printed, Council, the Deputy Clerk sought my advice on there's certain items that need to be updated and researched further and wanted to know if we could defer them. That was my suggestion, was that we just defer the terms of reference to the next meeting. And if council is in agreement with that, we'll do that for all of the committee report or the committee terms of reference.
Agreed.
Agreed. Okay. I don't even think we need to read out the resolutions. They just can come back to our meeting. Eileen, I defer to you.
Yes, that is correct. And we just need the movers and the seconder, please.
Okay, so we do have to, so we're creating a new motion to just defer all of the terms of reference to the next meeting?
I believe so. Let me just quickly check. Sorry, yes, Mayor Fort and Council, that's correct.
Okay, so if I can get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Belinda Kistemaker, second by Councillor
I'll second it.
Peter Kistemaker. Sorry, I just want some wording here so I get it right. Be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hornepayne does hereby defer all the terms of reference for the various committee and boards to our next meeting. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 And that is carried, none opposed. Eileen, I still see your hand up. Sorry. There, go ahead.
Yes, sorry, Mayor Fort. I just wanted to see if you wanted to go back to 11.2, just because I'm not sure if you wanted to amend the last be it further resolved. I just noticed you had read out that paragraph as well, that section for 11.2.
Yes, I did read it out, but I read it out as be it further resolved that a bylaw to enact fees and charges will be tabled at an upcoming meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for asking about the clarification. It's good to get it right.
No problem.
Okay, so moving on then, we're on to 12 motions and notices of motions. And this is the time where council has opportunity to put things forward. There are none tonight, so we'll move on to our adjournment. 13.1, if I can get a mover and a seconder for the confirmatory. Moved by Councillor Belinda Kistemaker, second by Councillor
Sheneman.
Ed Sheneman. Be it resolved that bylaw number 1981, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at the regular meeting held on Wednesday, January 20, 2023, be hereby read a first and second time and considered read a third time and finally passed. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 And that is carried, none opposed. And finally, our adjournment for our meeting tonight, council. It was nice to see everybody and thank you for coming out. Moved by Councillor.
I'll move it.
Aye.
Second, Peter, are you okay to second that? Second by
Yes.
Councillor. Thank you for that. Be it resolved that council does hereby adjourn this regular meeting of council held on Wednesday, January 25th, 2023 at 7:44. I'm going to hold the vote because I do see Eileen has a question. Go ahead, Eileen.
I'm so sorry that I just noticed this, but I was just wanting clarification for the terms of reference. If you would like council and staff to still provide input on the terms of references for about.
Okay, go ahead. But I think we already provided input, did we not? Was there not an opportunity for council to provide input to those?
Yes,
I
there
believe
was.
so.
Sorry.
Yes, there was.
Okay, Peter, did you have something to say about that?
No, I was just saying that we already did.
We already did. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Oh,
Needs to
sorry.
be further. I don't think there needs to be any further consultation unless council wants to add further input at this time. No, I think we're okay to go forward. We'll just update from the staff to ensure that we have everything legally done right.
Perfect. Okay,
so
thank you for clarifying.
No problem at all. Okay, with that, council, I'm going to put that time in the motion at 7:44. It was to 7:45 p.m. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and that's carried, and we adjourned our meeting. Thank you, council, for
Thank
meeting
you.
tonight and getting through all this stuff. And we'll see you on the 7th.
Have a good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Yeah, take care, everyone. Bye.